Shalom Yasharallah. Call Halayim La Yahawashi Yahawashi Bahasham Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone, the brothers, the soldiers, the teachers of Great Millstone, pushing the truth worldwide to seal up the elect. The 144,000 who are going to rule when Yahawashi returns with Yahawashi. And the men, women, and children that believe in Yahawashi Yahawashi, to you I say Shalom. So I'm back with the next one. I got this idea for this lesson from this book that I'm reading, and if anyone's familiar with House of Dragons or Game of Thrones, the whole lore and story or whatever, Game of Thrones came out years ago, and then they started coming out with prequels, the House of Dragons. This is all what happened before the Game of Thrones. So the book that I'm reading, okay, so if you know about the story, then you know about the Targaryens, the House of Targaryens, which is the royal family of this whole world, and how they came into power, how they became, the royal family of ruling the 7 kingdoms, because there's different kingdoms. Before the Targaryens took over, there were separate kingdoms in this thing, and the Targaryens are from this next place called Valyria, and Valyria has dragons, and some catastrophe guaned, and it wiped out all the people and all the dragons there, except for this one family, the Targaryens, because one of the women in their family foresaw what was going to happen, and the leader of this family took heed, and they moved their family and their dragons to this place called Dragonstone. It's this island that's off of the ends where this world is, Westeros or whatever. So the catastrophe guaned. So these guys were the last man standing with another family called the Valyrians or whatever, the Valyrians. So there's a man named Aegon Targaryen, and he has dragons. So he ends up, him and his 2 sisters, and this family's weird. There's a lot of incest and a lot of in-family marriages. So this guy Aegon the Conqueror married his 2 sisters. This nigga said, fuck this, let's get on our dragons and take over this whole shit. So one kingdom after another, they fucking conquered these kingdoms, bro, in Westeros to submission, because they have dragons. Like, these niggas don't. All you have to do is fly over an end, bun it down, and man's like, okay, bro, just settle down, you got this. So that's how Aegon the Targaryen took over the 7 kingdoms. But there was one kingdom that he couldn't take over. It was this place called Dorne, and they went to war with this place, and and they had a weapon that actually killed one of their dragons and one of his wives, which was his sister. So they came up with the treaties like, okay, you can be an independent kingdom, but they always had beef with each other. So anyways, it should have been 8 kingdoms, but it was really 7 kingdoms, which is another thing. So I'm comparing this to Yahawashi, actually. That's the whole point. Aegon the Conqueror's conquest compared to Yahawashi's conquest. Ain't nobody. Okay, I'm gonna get into the second half, but I'm gonna continue with the story. So, to describe these mans, the Targaryens, they're obviously so-called white people, but they have white hair and purple eyes. That's like their common way they look. And when I was reading, I was thinking about it and come to realize, bro, a lot of these stories are, off of the Bible. Like, they get their inspiration from the scriptures, because the Lord has so-called white hair, right? And eyes of flames of fire or whatever. And so the Targaryens look completely different than all the other people. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get into this. Give me 1 second, Israel. Let me just move this thing on my spot. 1 second, Yasharallah. Anyways, yo, the whole point is, yo, it's an interesting story. It's like, yo, like I'm flying through the book. My brakes are squeaking, fam. I'm flying through the book, and like, yo, pure fuckery go on with this fucking family. They eventually fall, if you know the story. But for hundreds. Oh, and another thing I wanted to compare to Yahawashi. Hold on. So after the conquest of Aegon the Conqueror, the calendar changed. Like, they stopped counting the year that, you know, that they were in, and they started all over. So it was basically, so after the conquest was year 1. So 1 AC, which stands for after conquest. See? And I feel like that's what's gonna happen when Yahawashi gets here. Like when Israel's running the world, we're not gonna be like, oh, this is the year 2027 or 28, bro. I feel like I'm speaking as a man, by the way. I feel like the calendar's gonna get erased, and we're gonna start at year 1. See? After conquest, because that's what Yahawashi is coming to do. He's coming to conquer the earth. So it's the same thing. And instead of dragons, Yahawashi has, you know, chariots, bro, that could do everything. So they're better than dragons, because dragons can die, and the angels are immortal. Yahawashi is immortal. We're going to be immortal. And his army's immortal, bro. The 144,000, and there's nothing that no one can do. And this kingdom's gonna be different, because we're not gonna be, you know, like, okay, after a conquest, okay, like, so all the kingdoms, instead of them having kings, they have like wardens and like lords and shit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is your end. You run it, but I'm your king, type shit. You know what I mean? These people aren't gonna run nothing when Yahawashi's done with them. Israel's gonna run shit. You might appoint people to do, you know, to be ahead of certain things and certain tasks or whatever. Or you have to watch these people. Or I heard a man say, you know, like, we might choose one nation to be our favorite of all the heathen, and, you know, give them more favor than all the other nations. That could be true. I could see that happening, but you know what I mean? Yeah, and so families pass down. Another thing, bro, and it's so important to these people to have heirs. You know what I mean? So, like, yo, if you're a king and you have children, like, you want sons. So the first son is always your heir, just like in the scriptures. And then your other sons come after that. If something happens to the first son, the second son steps up. But if nothing happens to your children and your first son has a child, which is a son, the second son gets passed over immediately, and his son, so the grandson of the king, is now, you know, the heir, and it goes down and down like that. And there's beer jealousy and beer freaking backstabbing, because mans want the power, and, yo, it's crazy. And okay, let me turn this heat off, yo, and the whip. And, you know, like, we're not going to work like that, man. First of all, King David's going to sit on the throne forever. And he's going to be immortal. No, but it doesn't matter how many children he has. It's not like, oh, King David's going to die again and his son will take over, and King David's gonna sit on Yahawashi's throne forever, bro. And the only king he'll have is Yahawashi, and Yahawashi will be the king of the universe. You know what I mean? So it comes in like Yahawashi is gonna be the king of the universe, and and King David is gonna be the king of Israel and his kingdom or whatever. And it's all through the power and glory and, you know, the plan of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, the ultimate king, which is amazing when you think about it. I don't know if mans are interested in like the story. So House of Dragons is coming back with a new season. Basically, reading these books kind of spoil it because you find out what happens basically. Even though the TV series is different than the books, but they're similar because like, you know, but it's still dope to like read. And this book has like illustrations, so you get to see kind of what everyone looks like, and like it paints a picture of what wants, you know what I mean? And it's dope still. But these are just, even though this is fiction, the Targaryens are fictional characters, but they're still men, and they get power and they lose power, just like Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi gives people power to rule for a little bit, and then their kingdom falls. All men's kingdom fall, bro. No one has power forever. And when you read the Bible, you book, you know, the Persians and the Medes had it. You know what I mean? The Babylonians had it. The Egyptians had it. Fucking Esau had it. Went in the Roman Empire, then that fell, but it came back, and now they still got it. But they're gonna lose it, bro, in a major fucking way, because Yahawashi is coming to conquer the fucking universe, man. And you can't compare Aegon's conquest to Yahawashi's conquest, because even though Aegon the Conqueror conquered Westeros or whatever, his dynasty wasn't forever. Yahawashi's dynasty is going to be forever and ever and ever and ever. You know what I mean? Which is awesome, bro. And just like how, you know, Aegon Targaryen had children, and then this, like, everyone had their thing. So there was, like, I think it was Aegon Targaryen's grandchild or whatever. I can't remember his name. Jaehaerys Targaryen. He was a good king, and he ruled for way longer than all the other kings, even Aegon. And his time was peaceful. There wasn't a lot of wars, and he spent a lot of time building up the kingdom, bro. Like all the roads he built, like, so King's Landing is where they're from, like where his throne is or whatever. And they built up the thing, and it took years and years and years, you know what I mean? And it took money. Like they had to, at one point they ran out of money to build up the thing, and they had to get listen to this, they had to get a fucking loan. Even they raised taxes, so the people, the public have to pay more taxes, you know what I mean? And there's even an iron bank, bro. So I'm thinking, yo, who the fuck owns the iron bank? Yo, who runs it friggin' in our world? The Amalekites, you know what I mean? So, bro, it's a real thing, yo. And I feel like even Elder Yashawamba says, you know, the kingdom's gonna be a business, bro. Like it's gonna run, but it's gonna be a perfect business, and it's gonna be run righteously. There isn't gonna be no foul play, and all the gold is gonna be ours. So, you know, everything's still gonna probably cost shit. Well, it's not gonna really cost shit because we're gonna have free labor. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know how to explain. I'm just speaking as a man, bro. Because we're all going to be, you know, wealthy and rich and shit with land, gold, property, women, and all types. So, you know, while I was reading the story, I was thinking about Yahawashi. So that's what I'm on. I got some scriptures to prove or to back up the fact that Yahawashi is coming to conquer. And even today, there was so much more scriptures that I could have grabbed, but I had to work, so I didn't have time to like map it out, and like I was like I didn't. There was so much. Maybe I'll do a part two, but I just got a few for you now, and I'm gonna read them, and we're just gonna flow in the spirit. I'm flowing in the spirit right now. I had no idea what I was gonna say. I'm just speaking through the spirit, bro. Thinking about Yahawashi. So praise Yahawashi, our Lord and Savior. And he's coming, bro. He's coming to conquer this place. So let's see what I got. Psalms 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So, Yahawashi is gonna own, run, have possession of the kingdom of heaven, man. All the whole earth, bro, is gonna be his, and everyone in it. We belong to him, but we're also gonna be co-heirs. You know what I mean? Which is awesome. But all knees will bow, bro. If you think Aegon Targaryen's dragons are a thing, bro, wait till you see. I saw an awesome picture today of the fathership showing up, bro. You know how shit's up mans are gonna be when the fathership pulls up, bro. Jeez, man. And what kind of devastation this shit can go on. I just thought of something randomly. So, if you ever seen Man of Steel, the Superman, you know what I mean? And the ship that Kal-El showed up on Earth to, his father hid it in the shed. And when Superman, when Clark Kent was growing up, he wanted to know, bro, why am I so fucking different from everyone and shit? Like, why? You know what I mean? And his father, his earthly father, showed him while gone. He showed him the ship. He's like, yo, this is what you showed up in, and this key thing was with you, and it had the symbol, the Superman symbol on it. And he's like, bro, I took this thing to the University of Kansas to get it examined and shit. And the fucking scientists couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. He said, it's not on the periodic table. This metal or this steel or whatever material this is not from this earth, bro. So I'm thinking, have you seen what the chariots can do? Like, nothing on earth can move like these things, bro. I've seen missiles being shot and the chariot fly by the missile faster than the missiles and redirect them to go somewhere else. Man saw the other day that Esau shot a missile at the fucking chariots and it bounced right off of it. And we've seen chariots, like there'd be one big one and then they split into like 4 or 5 and then come back together as one, bro. Like, there's nothing on earth that could do that, man. Like, the things that are heavenly are way superior than anything on earth, and that technology is gonna come when Yahawashi comes. And I was thinking today, I'm like, okay, so in this story, the Targaryen dynasty, there's this metal called Valyrian steel. So real other like mans have swords made of steel or whatever, but these niggas have Valyrian steel, which is stronger than all of their shits. And nothing can touch Valyrian steel. And to this day, they don't even know how it's made, bro. Like, they're saying like it's a magical thing and whatever. But so there's these two ancestral swords that belong to the Targaryens. One's called Blackfire and one's called Dark Sister. It's two swords of two Valyrian steel swords. And I was thinking, bro, Yahawashi and the angels must have swords, bro. You can't even imagine the fucking kind of steel or like, metal that these swords must be made out of. I'm speaking as a man, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, who knows, bro? Your imagination can run wild for days thinking about what a sword from heaven could do to anything on earth, dog. You know what I mean? And I like swords. My favorite type of sword is I like katanas. Japanese katanas, which are like like the samurai swords. I think they look awesome. And there's actually a company that I was looking at. You can actually buy and design your own katana still. Like I would just hang it up or whatever and just like have it on display. You could display them and shit. But yeah, yo, I rate swords. Anyways, and I was thinking about like in like our ancestors used to fight with swords, bro. And when we went to war, like that's what we fought with. There was no guns. Man's fought like hand to hand combat with fucking swords, bro. Shields and bucklers, and them type of warfare, bro. Anyways, continuing on. Revelation 2:27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as a vessel of a potter shall they be broken into shivers, even as I receive of my Father. So I was listening to Elder Manata Zakba the other day, and he was describing what rod of iron means. Like, yes, it could be a physical rod of iron, but it's like there's a definition of like if a king rules with a rod of iron, it's fucking rigorous rule. And that's how Yahawashi is gonna rule, bro. Like he's gonna break these fucking heathens, man. It's not gonna be any type of debate of what's guaning. Like whatever Yahawashi says is gonna go, man. And his men are going to freaking impose his will throughout the earth, man. And since we're co-heirs, we're gonna have heathen too. And we're gonna break niggas into shivers, man. Like it's gonna be fucking rough. Like you have to serve double, bro. Everyone knows that the Israelites served the hardest captivity. What? That the Israelites served the hardest captivity that's ever been imagined. But you guys have to serve double, bro. Second Ezra 13:6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So this is the fathership, bro. It's as big as a mountain, man. I remember there was a video, like a NASA video, and like there was something that they detected that was bigger, that was 4 times the size of Earth, bro. And it was like a UFO. So imagine a UFO spaceship 4 times the size of Earth. And I think that's real because I was thinking how if the elect are gonna get beamed up from all over the earth into one joint, it has to be humongous. And Ezra, when he seen it, it looked like a fucking mountain to him. That's how he described it. So we believe, bro. We believe, man. We believe, bro. Habakkuk 3:8. Was Yahweh Bashem Yahushai displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? Not only is there the fathership, there's obviously other chariots. And Habakkuk wanted to know what was the Lord's problem that he had to mosh up the earth, bro. Like, yo, things are going to get jacked up out here. Like, we can't imagine it because we've never seen anything like it. But we're all going to live through this, man. And the elect are going to be saved out of it, Lord will. And it's going to be a sight to see. And we just praying that we're out of that, like, bro, imagine being stuck on earth and you fucking have to go through the thing, bro. Like, not okay, we all have to go through it, but like after we get beamed up and you're like, okay, yo, the elect are beamed up, like what's gonna go on, bro? And you know what else I was thinking about and no one really talks about too tough? Here and there they talk about it, but not too tough. Behemoth and Leviathan, dog. That's written. How's that gonna play out? And you know, these nations are gonna shoot nuclear missiles at Babylon the Great, bro. That's gonna be fucked. Yo, bro. Yo. And we're gonna and when year one starts, dog, we're gonna have a story to tell. We're gonna be like, yo, this is what, Lord will, I'm part of that. This is what happened. Like, it's gonna be greater than Egypt. And the people who survive what happened, scared they're gonna be, bro. They're gonna be like, bro, fam, the thing got mosh up, and now we're in captivity. Like, life, like, mans aren't going to the mall. Mans aren't buying food to go cook tonight and hang out with the family. We're fucking slaves. And who we thought Jesus Christ was, is his name's really Yahawashi, and he's a big so-called black man, and he has an army, and they're all perfect, and they rule over us now. There's nothing we could do about it, bro. Revelation 17 and 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. So, yo, Esau's gonna try to fight back, but he's gonna lose. And he's king. Yo, bro, Aegon Targaryen was king of kings because he took over all these other kingdoms, bro. Like, there were 7 kingdoms, king of the 7 kingdoms, bro. How you coming true? No one knows who you are. You fly in a dragon and you just conquer the whole shit. One man, and every man bows to you. You're just a man, like, you bleed, but you had dragons and like and an army behind you. You know what I mean? Because he recruited, like, he had a family member of one of the ends that, like, the first kingdom that he took over. I can't remember what it's called. The Stormlands, and that's a kingdom, seen? And that he took that army, and his army and that army clicked up and just took over every shit. And they fought like regular mans, but after a while they're like, all right, yo, let's fly in the dragons. And they flew in the dragons. And the dragons would just come and bun up everybody. And everyone was like, yo, chill, relax, yo. All right, man, you win, bro. You know what I mean? And that's how he conquered the shit. So imagine how Yahawashi is gonna do it, man. Like, you're gonna fight, but yo, your little jets can't do nothing to the chariots that are gonna come in like dragons. You're gonna fucking submit, man. Like, you're gonna see the destruction and be like, oh, okay, man, you got this, bro. Like, all right, yo, we're done. Same way in the book. And he is going to be King of Kings. This is the precept for this. Revelation 19 and 16. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Yahawashi is going to be the Don. Like, the number one man, bro. And you can't even, bro, could you imagine even looking at Yahawashi? Sometimes I think about it. We have, like, pictures just of what a description of him, or like you see these AI pictures of Yahawashi, and you're like, you think of those sometimes, but like, you don't know what he looks like, his face, and you just to think that he looks just like Yahawashi, that's scary. But we're gonna be with the Lord, man. Like, we're gonna see him, bro. Everyone's gonna see him, but we're gonna see Yahawashi, man, in his perfect form, not as a man, like as a god, bro. Yo, it's heavy still. So this is a little bit above that. This is Revelation 19 and 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and his head were as many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And I got that because the crowns represents that he's gonna run every kingdom, bro. Like, more than 7 kingdoms, but the most important one, Babylon, that's going to be destroyed, and all the Edomites. So like you could think of just races like Edomites, Moabites, Amalekites, Ammonites, Ishmaelites. You know how much fucking people there are, bro? Like I was thinking, man, there's a lot of people. There's like a billion Moabites in one country. Is it a billion? Is there a billion Moabites in China, yo? I think that's the number. I think that's their population, 1 billion. I don't know. A lot of them are going to die in war and stuff, but still, that's a lot of people, man. And they're going to be ruled over, fam. If you think the Chinese government can rule over 1 billion people, what do you think Yahawashi is going to do to you? All right, this is the last scripture. Isaiah 9:7-6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, because there is going to be peace after he conquers. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end. So it's going to be a forever peaceful thing. As in, no one's going to come up against the Israelites, man. Upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of Yahawashi Yahawashi of hosts will perform this. So it's all Yahawashi. It's all Yahawashi Yahawashi's will. This is a story. That's how it's going to be written out from the beginning of time all the way to the end, to when Yahawashi is sitting on the throne with his boy David, fam. Our King David. You know what I mean? The greatest conquest that ever happened. The Romans, nothing. The Greeks, soft. Alexander the Great, soft. Who else? Donald Trump and his fucking pussy army, soft. Amalek running everything, bro, soft. Man runs every shit. I even seen today, yo, Amalek is the reason why everyone's testosterone level is fucked. Like you have to, as you get older, you have to fight and do everything possible to keep your testosterone level up. You understand that? And if you live like folly and live like a regular degler, like one of these niggas that don't care about shit and like eat crap and shit, your testosterone level will plummet, bro. Not like you think Yahawashi Yahawashi made it so that man's testosterone levels are supposed to go down, bro. These mans are engineering food to make your shit go down. They don't want manly men out here. I was actually, my doctor gave me a thing. I was supposed to go see what my testosterone levels are at, because I'm doing a bunch of shit to have it up. You know what I mean? Like I work out, yo, bro. I missed the gym for like, yo, dog. This month has been fucked up. Like work schedule wise, like I had to do a thing for work, and I missed a whole week of the gym because I had to be somewhere when I usually D's, and I wasn't done till late. That was a week that go on, and then I tried to get back on track, and then last week I woke up kind of like sick. I had a sore throat, bro, and I was like, how did I get sick? I don't ever get sick, and it just took me off my game. I tried to do a 1-2 in the house because I have like weights in my house, but yo, it's not hitting like the gym. So yo, tomorrow I'm in there, bro. I'm not missing you, bro. I'm trying to do November and December heavy, like I'm trying to just be in there, seeing like no days off. Well, the days off, I don't go on the Sabbath, and you know what I mean. But I'm trying to get back into it, and eat clean again, and be on my shit, because Amalek wants me to be a fucking soy boy, basically. Anyways, man, Yahawashi is coming to conquer you. You waste youths, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna be the soy boy, and you're gonna have to work every fucking day for free. See? So that's it. 35 minutes just like that. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawashi Shai, Bahasham Rakaha Kodash, the Wada Yahawashi Shai, for letting us believe in your son, bro, and having his blood cover the elect. And we're waiting for him to conquer the earth, man, with his 144,000 men, whoever they are, and the holy angels, the army of heaven, and the men, women, and children that are going to be saved, man. That's it. That's it. And your prophets, the great millstone, the apostles and the bishops and the elders and the teachers and the soldiers, bro. That's all that matters. So Tawada, hopefully this was edifying. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch House of Dragons. Season 3 is gonna drop just now, and then yeah. And if you've seen Game of Thrones, then you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So anyways, hold it down, Israel. Repent, beg for mercy, please the Lord every day. Sin less every day, man. Like, try your best to do better every day. And beg the Lord for mercy and forgiveness, and for the blood of Yahawashi to cover you. You know what I mean? So with that, hold it down, Israel. Shalom.